Hey everybody, welcome back to Exploring Temecula. Today's video, February's market update for 2023. I go through everything from average sales price, new listed properties, active listed properties, percentage of original list price, the most important things that you as a buyer or seller need to know about what's going on in the local market, I am going to talk about. I do this every single month, so if you're interested in keeping track of the local housing market, make sure you subscribe, or you can always visit exploringtemecula.com for more information. I have over 200 blog posts and videos of the local area, so if you are interested in the Temecula area, this is the channel that I would follow. I have so much information, it's almost hard for me to come up with new content ideas, but everything from different communities, even cost of living, even the weather, I have a blog post on. One of the biggest things moving forward, in my opinion, that is going to affect the housing market is going to be what are the interest rates going to be. I mentioned about 6 months ago that I thought rates were going to go up to 8 or 9%. As of a month ago, rates began to actually drop a little bit, which in my opinion helped the housing market, and buyers become more of a player in the game as maybe their payment went from $4,200 down to $3,800, $3,900, and more homes became available to them. As we move forward, from everything that I hear, everything that I see, and when I look at the economy, I do think that rates have a chance to go higher. Inflation is not going away, and that's just my opinion on what could happen. Do I still see rates getting to the 8 or the 9s? It's a tough call for me right now, but I would not be surprised that in 6 months, if you're seeing mortgage rates, 7.5%, 8%. Okay guys, so here we go. February's market update for Temecula, Murrieta, and Menifee. We're going to start right off into new listings. Just everybody that has not watched the channel before, I don't get into picking specifics up top. I just want an overall picture of what's going on in the market. This is insane. New listings, and I talked about this on my last market update, how bad the inventory really is. And I just wanted to go and show you the difference between a few years. So in February of 2023, we had 77 new listings in Temecula. So the last February in 2022, we had 182 listings. That's well over double last February. The February before that, we had 186. The February before that, we had 239. These are unbelievably low numbers. I can't even believe it's getting this low. Murrieta 94 and Menifee 115. So let's just look at Menifee last February. Menifee had 206. The February before that in 2021, Menifee had 227. So again, we are about 100 less. And in a city the size of Temecula, Murrieta, or Menifee, with these numbers, I mean, it's a really big deal, and in my opinion, probably one of the biggest reasons we are seeing the market go sideways and even in certain months have an upward trend. Active listings, no surprise here. Even with interest rates, even with prices still, or a lot of sellers realizing or not realizing that, hey, my house isn't worth what it was a year ago. Even with all of that information out there, we are still seeing a downturn in the overall number of active listings on the market. And one of the biggest reasons is because there is nothing for sale. People are not having a choice in the matter. They have to, if they want to buy a home, there's only a certain amount of homes out there. They have to pick them. And that's why the homes that are upgraded right now, that's why the homes that show well are really getting almost what is being asked in way of original list price. And we'll get into that in a little bit. But again, biggest reason, in my opinion, we're seeing this historically low number of active listings is just because there's no new listings on the market, and this is driving home buyers to purchase what is actually available, and definitely in many cases not their number one overall choice of a home. Days on the market. We saw a sharp downturn in February. So in January of 2023, we had in Temecula 42, and it went down to 34. In January, Murrieta was at 47, and that actually went up to 48 one day. And Menifee in January was 45, and it dropped down to all the way to 34. Again, totally inventory related. Another thing, guys, that did happen over the last month and a half is interest rates did drop a little bit, and that is again putting pressure on the listing inventory, because people went from, hey, I can't afford a $4,200 payment, but hey, now interest rates dropped a little bit, I can do a $3,800 or $3,900 a month payment on many of these homes. And it's just bringing those buyers that were out of the market maybe 3, 4, or 5 months ago back into the market with low inventory. Okay, percentage of original list price, and I've talked about this before. May of 2021, we were getting 5% over what it was actually listed. So you sell a $500,000 home, you were getting $525 for it. It did dip a little bit in 2021. Again, in 2022, we were up at 103. This does look like a huge drop off, and yeah, in some case, overall, yes, this was a huge drop off. But in February, sellers in Temecula, Murrieta, and Menifee are still getting in between 96 and 97% of the original list price. That means if you sell a home or list a home at 500, the average that you're going to get is about 485 in all 3 cities. So, you know, it is a big enough decrease when you're comparing it to levels historically over the last 5 years, but generally, you know, you list your property right, you're still getting very close to what you actually originally listed it at. Okay, and finally, the average median sales price actually went up in Temecula. In January, it was $647, and in February, it was $677. For Murrieta, $627 in January, and it went down to $602 in the month of February. And in Menifee, we pretty much went straight across the board, $539 to $535. But as I've pointed out before, you'll have a dip in the market. Like in July 2022 in Temecula, it went from $740 all the way down to $686. But then it pumped back up to $722. So this graph right here, or this line graph, I would say that it's more important to see the trend over months at a time. And as you can see, let's just call it from July 2022. Yes, we have seen a drop off, but I foresee in the future, especially in the near future, we are just going to go across the line graph in this range. We're going to see 1 month where it goes up 15,000, and the next month it's going to drop 10,000. Then it's going to go up 15,000, and then it's going to drop. So I really do see a sideways pattern in regards to home prices over the next 2-3 months, depending on what the Fed does in regards to interest rates. Of course, if interest rates get to 8-9%, like I said, probably 6 months ago, I really do see another 10 to 15% drop in this market. So there you have it, guys. Market report for February in Temecula, Murrieta, and Menifee. Make sure you subscribe for more information on either Temecula or the surrounding area. Thank you very much, and I'll talk to you next time.